It's rippling throughout the entirety of the United States.
2007 was a record year for the housing market, but record in a bad way, to the tune of a 75% increase in the number of foreclosures. And we're not just talking about expensive markets. Across the country, tens of thousands of people had trouble making their payments and lost their homes. Now, our collective journalism program invites contributors to help share stories, and they've been following this one pretty closely and have put together a picture of how communities across the country have been affected.
We're right in the middle, in the center of the United States. My name's Joe. I'm actually in a suburb known as Belton, Missouri. It's in the Kansas City metro area. And my wife and I bought a home in July of '07, which is one of the worst months to actually buy or sell a house. And at this point right now, I want to figure out what's going on in the market.
Certain segments of the country had such unrealistic appreciation on property values over the last handful of years, and now they're seeing that bubble burst, so to speak, and they can't move, they can't sell.
Credit was so easy to get, and it became such a mindset that, you know what, I don't have to sell my house before I buy the next one, before I buy up. I can afford 1 or 2 or 3 months worth of double payments. It is going to affect the economy. Credit will be harder. People will have to start spending what they earn.
This crisis that's happening in the home lending and mortgage markets, this isn't an isolated pocket. It's rippling throughout the entirety of the United States, and no one is safe from this.
The foreclosure problem in Ohio in 2007 is quite severe. It is the worst situation for people losing their homes or being in danger of losing their homes since the Great Depression of the 1930s. We have record levels of foreclosures last year. Those have doubled apparently this year, and it's really the biggest economic problem that we face in Ohio right now.
I owe $94,000 on it. The county auditor only has it appraised at $82,000. And in order to refinance, I have to make the difference up, which is like $12,000. I have to come up with before I could get help. The past 3 months, we've been making late payments on the house. Probably lose my house. Go day by day right now, but I'll probably end up losing the house because we can't afford it.
I think most people don't understand what they're signing. People come in, they act like they're your best friend, they know your cousin, they're all friendly with you, they'll sit at your coffee table and have coffee and cookies, and then they'll go to the closing table and rob money from you.
The ceiling upstairs collapsed. Then the moisture got into the ceiling in here. This ceiling ended up coming down. But by the time I had taken it down and taken the plaster on the wall that had been ruined, I realized that there was termite damage in the house. Serious, to the point that it actually compromised the structure from that door all the way across the house, all the way around the stairs, and all the way back to the pantry. What they had done was they had taken the 80-year-old wiring in the basement, snipped it off, taken new wiring, and then tied it into the existing wiring to make it look like the house had been rewired when it actually hadn't been. I had just started trimming it when the foreclosure started. It was not worth it. It just stopped being worth it. I just gave up. So the broker is who I'd like to meet him in a bar right now. It's been give us all of our money or lose the house and then pay it all back. I mean, there has been no game plan for helping people like me not go through this.
If I could have one wish, I would wish never to buy this house.
A lot of people got into the housing market not just to own a home to live in, but to try to profit from. People would buy homes with the idea that home prices would increase sharply in a short period of time and that they'd be able to flip the house for a profit. And the subprime crisis largely put an end to that, but there are still some who have found that the crisis has actually been good for business.
I worked as a mortgage broker after college for about 8 months. I kind of learned the ins and outs of the mortgage industry. They started these new mortgage programs, 100% financing, or even more than 100% financing, or really poor credit score, you can get financed. And what it kind of led to was that more and more companies would give out these new mortgage programs to people that just couldn't qualify for them or shouldn't qualify for them. So people would overborrow and not be able to afford their payments. It was just like the writing was on the wall. Like you could just see that this wave of foreclosures was going to happen. Soon after I got out of mortgages, I started working. I started my business in property preservation, working on foreclosed properties. I clean out probably about 4 or 5 houses a week and change the locks on probably 6 or 7 houses a week. But again, I'm just one company. The foreclosure business is booming right now.
What the people leave behind at these houses, you can really put together the story of the family. They'll leave behind baby photos all the way up until young children, all the way through middle school and high school. You can really see who these people were. You leave behind their life story. And, I come in and scoop it up and throw it away.
Because there has been such a spike in the number of foreclosures filed, we've been seeing whole other industries that have been built up and trying to take advantage of those who are finding themselves in foreclosure.
One day I was here at home and the young man came up to the door and he comes in and say, I want to buy your house. I said, buy my house? Yes, well, you own the thing, you're in foreclosure, and I want to buy your house. I said, I'm not selling my house. Well, either you sell it to me or they're going to take it from you anyway, so you might as well sell it to me. At least you'll get some money out of it. The other way, you're going to lose it.
I would suggest contacting an attorney, because an attorney is going to be someone who is going to be familiar with federal laws that require lenders to try to work something out with you prior to filing a foreclosure. Many people can't afford an attorney, and that's why there are legal aid offices and legal services offices around the country.
It's getting worse. You see people, they ride down the streets, they go down, they look at houses, you see them out snapping pictures. Guy came out, he was taking pictures of the house, and I didn't even know what was happening at the time. But now I know what's going on when I see them doing it. I know what's happening. They trying to get a picture of the property where they'll think how much they can get out of it. And it's getting bad all over, not just here in Jacksonville and other places too.
So when will it all end, and when will home prices start to increase again? Short answer is, no one seems to know. Every month, new reports seem to indicate that home sales are down and that median home prices are down as well, and it shows no signs of abating. We'll continue to follow this story and keep you updated, and if you'd like to get involved, check out our collective journalism program by going to www.current.com/CJ.